inherent argument is that we should get back to what makes America great, which is merit, treating everybody equally, and looking for the best of the best, no matter what their race is, what their background is.
Do you think that America has historically treated everybody equally?
I don't think it matters, to be perfectly honest.
You don't think it matters?
Nobody here right now. No, I don't. I don't think anybody. Listen, if I wanted to.
You don't think the history of racial discrimination in the United States matters?
I think that I come from a family where I could spin a victim narrative if I wanted to. My mom, I could say, oh, she was this penniless refugee and didn't speak English, and she had all these chips stacked against her. And me, as a son of, a refugee family, I had everything stacked against me too, and I just was going to have too hard of a time to succeed. Instead, I grew up with my great-grandfather telling me every day how lucky I was to be an American, that I had every opportunity to succeed, and that failure was a choice. If I failed, it was going to be on me. We are not the sins of our fathers. We also are not here to carry on whatever terrible thing our ancestors went through. My family went through some terrible things in communism in Cuba. It's not my job to carry that wound, that trauma that they have, and then blame other people who exist here right now for it.
It was Robby, hold on. It's not a question of blaming other people. The point is, the fact that individuals from a group can be successful does not disqualify or delegitimize the fact that that group has faced discrimination. And if we acknowledge, as I think any fair-minded person has to do, that certain groups in the United States face discrimination, then the question becomes, how is that to be redressed? No?
Tell me, how am I being held back as a Latino, as a minority male in America? How am I being held back?
Well, I was primarily referring to Black Americans who've obviously suffered enormously as a consequence of slavery, the legacies of slavery, less family wealth, lower levels of educational attainment that are partly built in lower income areas, all of that.
Do you believe Black folks in America are less able to earn their position in the workplace in corporate America? Do you believe that?
No, I certainly do not. But I also think that this country has been dominated for many decades, if not centuries, by a predominantly white culture, which has given basic advantages within that system to other white people.
So is your argument it's time to punish the whites? That's an inherently racist argument. I don't think revenge works. That's just racism.
Well, can we say that?
So if we really want to end it, we've got to, embrace each other and say, hey, the best of the best is going to be rewarded no matter what. We're actually going to do this the right way and treat each other equally. Or we can do revenge, which I think is unhealthy for everybody. But essentially the argument you're making is, well, their ancestors went through some bad things, so white people right now should go through some bad things too, and we should have racial discrimination in the other direction. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I'm certainly not in favor of that. I think you can say that you can concede that there was significant racial discrimination, but say that the policy should now be a policy of utter and absolute race neutrality and meritocracy, and in fact that policies that are not race neutral are, as you mentioned earlier, going to end up discriminating against, for instance, other minorities, Asian people, while still saying that the country was far from perfect throughout its history. But I mean, that's the attitude I would take. I don't know if that's the attitude you would take. Robby Starbuck, thank you so much for joining us on Rising today. We appreciate you sparring with us.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, how much was really concealed with respect